So when are you finally going to get a real job, Steph? My mother's voice cut through the noise of Thanksgiving dinner like a knife through butter. 27 people, cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, all stopped mid-bite to watch. The mashed potatoes on my fork suddenly felt like lead. I'd heard variations of this question for 3 years straight. At every family gathering, every phone call, every accidental run-in at the grocery store. But something about the way she said it this time, that little smirk playing at the corner of her lips, the way she glanced around to make sure everyone was listening, something inside me just snapped. I set down my fork very carefully. Looked at her sitting there in her designer sweater, the one with the Nordstrom tags I'd seen in her closet last week. The new highlights in her hair that probably cost $200. The Kate Spade bag hanging off the back of her chair. That's funny, I said quietly. My voice sounded strange to my own ears. Calm. Too calm. Because I've had the same job for 4 years. The one that pays $2,100 a month. For your apartment. The room went dead silent. My mom's smirk flickered. What are you talking about? Stop being dramatic. The apartment on Riverside Drive, I continued. 2-bedroom, 2-bath. The one you told everyone you inherited from Grandma Helen. The one you've been renting since the divorce. My dad's wine glass hit the table hard enough to slosh Cabernet onto the white tablecloth. Renting? You told me your mother left you that place. She did leave me something, Mom said quickly. Her face was turning that blotchy red it got when she was cornered. Stephanie's confused. She helped with some utility bills, that's all. I have the lease agreement in my car, I said. Want me to get it? It's got your signature. Monthly rent, $2,100. Due the first of every month for the last 38 months. I can go get it right now. My cousin Brandon leaned forward, his plate forgotten. Wait. You've been paying her rent? For 3 years. 3 years and 2 months, I said. Since September 2021. Right after the divorce finalized. My Aunt Diane's hand went to her mouth. Uncle Pete's eyes went wide. My younger sister Emma was staring at Mom like she'd never seen her before. That's... Emma did the math in her head. That's almost $80,000. The number hung in the air like smoke. $80,000. 3 years and 2 months of my life, reduced to a number that made everyone at the table go pale. She's lying, Mom said, but her voice had gone high and thin. She's making this up because she's embarrassed that I called her out. Called me out for what? I kept my voice level. For being useless? The useless daughter who's been paying your rent while living in a 500-square-foot studio that costs $750 a month. My dad's face had gone from red to white. You said the divorce left you with nothing. You said I took everything in the settlement. You did take everything. We split everything 50-50, Dad said slowly. Each word came out like he was pulling teeth. The house, the cars, the retirement accounts. You walked away with $52,000 in cash. Plus your Lexus. Plus half my 401k, another $28,000. That's $80,000, Brandon said. He'd always been good at math. She got 80 grand in the settlement and told you she got nothing. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, turned it toward my end of the table. The transaction history scrolled on forever. September 2021. Linda Morrison, $2,100. October 2021. Linda Morrison, $2,100. November 2021. Linda Morrison, $2,100. On and on and on. Jesus Christ, Uncle Pete breathed. Plus groceries, I added. My voice sounded robotic now, disconnected. Twice a month I'd take her to Whole Foods. About $250 each trip. That's another $19,000 over 3 years. And her car payment, $450 a month for that Lexus she kept in the divorce. Another $17,000. Emma was typing frantically on her phone calculator. That's over $115,000. The number was so big it didn't feel real. I watched it register on everyone's faces. The shock. The horror. The way they were all looking at Mom now, really looking at her. You told us Stephanie was struggling, my cousin Julie said quietly. She was a pediatric nurse, the successful one everyone compared me to. Last Christmas, You said she could barely afford her rent. That her job at the marketing firm didn't pay enough. She was struggling. I was struggling because I was paying your bills, I cut in. I make $3,200 a month before taxes. After taxes, about $2,400. After your rent, I had $300 left. For everything. My rent, my food, my car, everything. Aunt Diane's eyes were filling with tears. Honey, we had no idea. Last year at Easter, we gave you that grocery gift card because we thought. Because Mom told you I needed help. The memory of that day came flooding back. The pity in their eyes. The way they'd pressed that $100 Kroger gift card into my hand like I was some kind of charity case. She told everyone I was barely getting by. You were barely getting by, Emma said. Her voice cracked. I watched you eat ramen noodles for dinner 6 nights in a row last time I visited. I thought you were just being lazy about cooking. How much do you make at your job? Uncle Pete asked Mom directly. His voice had gone cold. That's none of your business. You work at Macy's, Emma said. Part-time. 25 hours a week. You've told us that yourself. Minimum wage in California is $15.50. That's, what, maybe $1,500 a month after taxes. My job is very stressful. So you're bringing in $1,500 a month, Uncle Pete continued, steamrolling over her protest. Your rent is $2,100. Stephanie was paying that, plus groceries, plus your car payment. What the hell were you spending your own money on? The silence stretched out. Everyone was staring at Mom. Waiting. Want to tell them about the purses? I asked quietly. Mom's jaw clenched so tight I could see the muscle jumping. Don't you dare. I've been to her apartment 5 times in the past year, I said to the table. She's got a walk-in closet. 14 designer handbags. Coach, Michael Kors, Tory Burch. I looked them up out of curiosity. They run between $300 and $600 each. Julie was doing math again on her phone. That's at least $4,000 in handbags. While you were eating ramen. And the trips, Aunt Diane said suddenly. Her face had gone hard. You went to Napa in March. That spa weekend in Carmel in June. Wine tasting in Sonoma in September. You posted pictures all over Facebook. I deserve to have a life. On whose dime? Dad's voice cracked like a whip. While you were telling everyone your daughter was a failure. I never said failure. You called her useless, Emma cut in. Literally 5 minutes ago. In front of everyone. That was a joke. You've been calling her a disappointment for 3 years, Julie said. She was scrolling through her phone now. I have texts from you. Look, from last April. Poor Stephanie. She just can't seem to get it together. From July, I wish she'd been more ambitious like you. From last month, sometimes I wonder where I went wrong with her. She turned her phone around, showed the table. Mom's face went from blotchy red to scarlet. I was venting. Mothers are allowed to vent. While she was supporting you. Dad stood up. His chair scraped against the hardwood floor with a sound like a scream. While she was paying your rent and your car and your groceries, you were trash-talking her to everyone we know. She offered. She wanted to help. I pulled up my text messages. Started scrolling back. Found what I was looking for. September 2021. You texted me at 1:34 in the morning. I'm going to be homeless. Your father destroyed me. I have nothing. You're all I have left. Please. I read it out loud. The room had gone so quiet I could hear my cousin's baby breathing through the monitor in the kitchen. Then the next message, I continued. You owe me this. I gave up my body for you. 9 months of hell. 36 hours of labor. I sacrificed everything. The least you can do is make sure I'm not on the street. My grandmother made a sound, something between a gasp and a sob. Then another one. If you don't help me, I'll lose everything. I'll be living in my car. Is that what you want? Can you live with knowing your mother is homeless? I looked up from my phone. Looked at Mom. Want me to keep reading? I've got 3 years of messages like this. Those were taken out of context. What context makes it okay to tell your daughter she owes you for being born? Grandma's voice was quiet, but it cut through the noise like a bell. Nobody answered. I cancelled the automatic payment yesterday, I said. December's rent was due yesterday. Your landlord should be getting the notice right about now that it's not coming. Mom's face drained of color. Actually drained, like someone had pulled a plug. You can't do that. I'll be evicted. You said I was useless. Useless people don't pay $2,100 a month in rent. You can't just abandon me. Like you abandoned any sense of decency. Emma's voice shook. My God, Mom, how could you do this? I'm her mother. She's supposed to take care of me. You're 51 years old. Dad exploded. He slammed his hand on the table. Dishes jumped. Wine glasses rattled. You're not elderly. You're not disabled. You work part-time by choice because you like your freedom. And you've been bleeding your daughter dry while mocking her to everyone who'll listen. I have expenses. You have 14 designer handbags. Emma was shouting now too. I've seen them. You showed them to me. You were bragging about the Tory Burch one you got on sale. I deserve nice things. On your daughter's dime while calling her useless. Grandma stood up slowly. She was 81, but her voice could still fill a room. While she lives in a closet and eats noodles so you can go wine tasting. Mom looked around the table. Every single person was staring at her with expressions ranging from disgust to pure fury. Even the cousins who barely knew me. Even Uncle Pete's new girlfriend who'd only been dating him for 3 months. Fine. Mom grabbed her purse, that Kate Spade, probably $400, and stood up. You all want to watch me fail? You want to see me lose everything? Fine. When I'm living in my car, maybe you'll all feel guilty. You won't be living in your car, I said. My voice came out surprisingly calm. You'll figure something out. Get a full-time job. Find a roommate. Move somewhere cheaper. You know, all the things you've been telling me I should do for 3 years. You're abandoning your mother. No. I'm stopping being your ATM. There's a difference. You'll regret this. The only thing I regret, I said slowly, is not doing it sooner. Mom looked at Dad. Are you going to let her do this to me? Dad crossed his arms. You lied to me for 3 years. Lied to everyone. Made our daughter into a piggy bank while destroying her reputation. Yeah, Linda. I'm going to let her do this. You're all ganging up on me. I'm the victim here. The victim. Aunt Diane stood up. She was barely 5 feet tall, but her presence filled the room. The victim is the kid who's been eating instant noodles so you can carry designer bags. Get out of my house. This is Thanksgiving. Get out. Mom looked around one more time, waiting for someone, anyone, to defend her. To tell me I was being too harsh. To remind everyone that family is family. Nobody said a word. She left. The door slammed hard enough to rattle the china cabinet. For a long moment, nobody moved. Then Grandma came around the table and pulled me into a hug that smelled like Chanel No. 5 and love. I'm so sorry, she whispered. We all believed her. We should have known better. It's okay, Grandma. No, sweetheart. It's not. But it will be. My phone started buzzing at 9:23 p.m. I was back at my studio apartment, my tiny, affordable, suddenly comfortable studio, lying on my second-hand couch and staring at the water-stained ceiling. The first call was from a number I didn't recognize. I let it go to voicemail. 30 seconds later, the notification popped up. I put it on speaker. Ms. Morrison, this is Karen Phillips from Riverside Property Management. Your mother just called me in hysterics saying December's rent payment was a mistake. She wants to pay with a personal check. I wanted to confirm, are you no longer handling her rent? I called her back immediately. Ms. Phillips, this is Stephanie Morrison. That's correct. I'm no longer paying my mother's rent. As of yesterday, I closed the account. Whatever arrangement she wants to make with you is between you and her. Understood. Thank you for letting me know. A pause. Ms. Morrison, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but she's 3 months behind on utilities. The electric company contacted me last week. I've been waiting for your rent payment to clear before starting eviction proceedings. My stomach dropped. 3 months. Yes. She owes about $2,400 total, rent plus utilities. I'll need to see that cleared by the 15th or I'll have to file. That's between you and her. I'm not involved anymore. Fair enough. Have a good evening. I hung up and stared at my phone. 3 months behind on utilities. While I'd been paying her rent faithfully, automatically, every single month. Where had her money been going? The calls kept coming. 9:47 p.m, Mom, from a different number. Declined. 9:51 p.m, Mom again. Declined. 9:55 p.m, a text from Emma. Are you okay? I typed back, yeah. Weird, but okay. You? Dad's been on the phone with his lawyer for 2 hours. He's going back through the divorce papers. He thinks Mom might have lied about other things too. Probably. I'm sorry we didn't see it. We should have. Not your fault. She's good at hiding things. 10:30 p.m, Uncle Pete called. Hey, kiddo. How you holding up? I'm okay. Listen, Diane and I were talking. That place you're in, what's your lease situation? Month to month. Why? We've got a rental property in Glendale. 2-bedroom, 1 bath. Nothing fancy, but it's got a real kitchen and a dishwasher. We're asking $1,300 a month, but I'll do $1,100 for you. You deserve better than that shoebox. My throat went tight. Uncle Pete, I can't. You can. You've been living below your means for 3 years to support someone who didn't appreciate it. Time to take care of yourself. I'll think about it. Don't think too long. Offer expires when you come to your senses. 11:15 p.m, Dad called. Sweetheart, you got a minute? Yeah. I went through everything. The divorce papers, the financial disclosures, all of it. Your mother lied about a lot of things. Like what? She told you I took everything in the divorce. That's not true. We split everything 50-50. She got $52,000 cash from the house sale, her Lexus, half my 401k, that was another $28,000. She walked away with $80,000. I felt physically sick. She told me she got nothing. I know. She told me something different too. Said you were helping because I'd left her destitute. His voice went rough. I'm sorry. I should have asked more questions. It's not your fault, Dad. It is, though. I knew she could be manipulative. It's part of why I left. But I never thought she'd do it to her own kids. We sat in silence for a moment. Stephanie, I want to help. Let me cover your rent for a few months. Or help you move somewhere better. Whatever you need. I'm okay, Dad. Really. You've been eating ramen for 3 years. And now I don't have to. I can actually afford real food. I'm good. The offer stands. Anything you need. Thanks, Dad. Midnight, another voicemail from the unknown number. Mom again. I almost didn't listen, but curiosity won. Stephanie, please. I'm begging you. I don't have the rent money. I don't have the utility money. Karen says she's going to evict me if I don't pay by Friday. Please. I'll do anything. I'm sorry about what I said. You're not useless. You're wonderful. You're the best daughter anyone could ask for. Please don't do this to me. I deleted it without finishing. Friday came, December 13th, 2024. Karen Phillips called at 3:47 p.m. Ms. Morrison, just wanted to update you. Even though you're no longer involved, your mother didn't pay. I filed for eviction this morning. She has 30 days. Okay. She's been calling me constantly, multiple times a day. Crying, begging, making promises. I wanted you to know I'm not budging. I have bills too. I understand. She tried to tell me you'd stolen from her. That you'd taken money that was rightfully hers. I told her that's between you two, not my concern. I appreciate that. Take care of yourself, Ms. Morrison. Christmas was different that year. The family gathering was at Emma's house. Smaller. Intimate. Just immediate family. Mom wasn't invited. Dad brought his girlfriend Patricia, a fourth-grade teacher who made terrible jokes and actually laughed at his worst ones. She was normal. Refreshingly, wonderfully normal. Emma's husband grilled steaks. Uncle Pete brought his famous 7-layer dip. Grandma made her traditional sugar cookies. And I brought wine. Good wine. The kind I'd never let myself buy before. To Stephanie, Dad said, raising his glass. For teaching us all what self-respect looks like. To Stephanie, everyone echoed. We ate. We laughed. We played Cards Against Humanity and argued about the rules. We took too many photos. It felt like family. Real family. Not the obligatory kind. The chosen kind. Mom called on Christmas night. I'd unblocked her number. Seemed petty to keep it blocked forever. The call came at 10:33 p.m. Merry Christmas, she said. Her voice was different. Smaller. Unfamiliar. Merry Christmas, Mom. I wanted to apologize. For everything. For how I treated you. For the things I said. For taking advantage. Okay. I got evicted. I'm staying with a friend from work right now. On her couch. It's temporary. I'm sorry to hear that. I got a full-time position at Macy's. 40 hours a week. It's exhausting. My feet hurt constantly. But I'm doing it. That's good, Mom. A long pause. Do you think you'll ever forgive me? I thought about that. Really thought about it. Maybe, I said finally. But not today. And not because you're struggling. Forgiveness doesn't work that way. I know. If you want a relationship with me, it has to be real. No manipulation. No guilt trips. No lies. I understand. And I'm never paying your bills again. Ever. Even if you're really struggling. You're an adult. You figure it out. I know. Okay. Another pause. Merry Christmas, Stephanie. I do love you. Even if I'm terrible at showing it. Merry Christmas, Mom. I hung up. I didn't believe her. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But it was something. January 2025. I signed a lease on Uncle Pete's rental. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, small patio, $1,100 a month. It felt like a palace after the studio. I bought a real dining table. A couch that wasn't from Craigslist. A bed that was actually a bed. Started taking cooking classes at the community center. Learned to make things that weren't instant noodles or rice. Gained back the 20 pounds I'd lost over 3 years of budgeting. Started dating a guy named Alex from the cooking class. He was a physical therapist. Funny, kind, never asked me for money. I told him about Mom on our 4th date. The whole story. Expected him to run. He didn't. My sister's like that, he said. Not with money, but with emotional manipulation. I had to set boundaries 2 years ago. Was it hard? Hardest thing I've ever done. But also the most necessary. We understood each other. March 2025. Mom called again. I have my own apartment now. 1 bedroom, $1,200 a month. I'm making it work. That's great, Mom. I wanted you to know I'm doing it myself. No help from anyone. I'm proud of you. Really? Really? She started calling once a month after that. Just to talk about work, about weather, about nothing important. I kept the calls short. Friendly, but bounded. It wasn't the relationship we used to have. It was better. Thanksgiving 2025, exactly 1 year later. We were back at Aunt Diane's house. The whole family. Even some cousins who hadn't come last year, curious about the drama they'd heard about. Mom wasn't invited, but she'd texted me that morning. Have a good Thanksgiving. I'm doing a potluck with my co-workers. I'd replied, sounds nice. Enjoy. As we sat down to eat, Uncle Pete raised his glass. I want to make a toast. To family. Not the kind you're born into, but the kind you choose. The kind that shows up. The kind that tells the truth even when it's hard. To family, we all echoed. I looked around the table. At Dad and Patricia. At Emma and her husband. At Grandma with her knowing eyes. At the cousins and aunts and uncles who'd stopped pitying me and started respecting me. At Alex beside me, his hand warm in mine. At the empty chair where Mom used to sit. "You okay?" Alex whispered. "Yeah," I said. "I really am." And I meant it. 2 years after that Thanksgiving, Mom sent me a text. "I got promoted. Assistant manager. It's not much, but it's mine. I earned it myself. Congratulations, Mom. That's amazing. Thank you for everything. For setting boundaries. For forcing me to grow up. For not giving up on me, even when I gave you every reason to." I stared at that message for a long time. "You're welcome. Can we have coffee sometime? Just to talk. No agenda. My treat. I'll think about it. That's all I can ask." I never did meet her for coffee. Not because I was angry. Not because I hadn't forgiven her. But because some relationships aren't meant to be fixed. They're meant to be transformed. And sometimes the healthiest transformation is distance. Mom and I text now. Once a month. Maybe twice. Surface level stuff. She tells me about work. I tell her about Alex, my fiancé now. She sent an engagement gift, a card with a $200 check inside. The card said, "I know it's not much, but it's mine. Earned honestly. I'm proud of you." I cried when I read it. Not because we'd reconciled, but because she'd finally learned the difference between manipulation and genuine connection. And that was enough. People ask me sometimes if I regret that Thanksgiving confrontation. If I wish I'd handled it differently, more privately, less dramatically. The answer is no. Because that public moment did something a private conversation never could. It forced everyone, Mom included, to see the truth. To stop making excuses. To stop enabling. It was the kindest thing I could have done. Not just for me, but for her too. Because sometimes the most loving thing you can do for someone is refuse to save them from themselves. 3 years later, I'm closing on my first house. 3 bedrooms, modest, but mine. Dad and Patricia got married last spring. Emma had twin boys. She named one Peter, after Uncle Pete. Mom sent a gift, 2 handmade quilts. The card said, "For the newest members of the family. With love from Grandma Linda." Emma cried when she opened them. Called Mom to say thank you. They talk sometimes now. Carefully, with boundaries, but they talk. I'm happy for them. Me? I still keep my distance. Still maintain those boundaries I set 4 years ago. Because I learned something important that Thanksgiving. You can love someone from a distance. You can want the best for them without sacrificing yourself. And sometimes, the greatest gift you can give someone is the chance to stand on their own 2 feet. Even if they hate you for it at first. Even if it breaks your heart. Even if it takes years for them to understand. Because in the end, we both survived. We both grew. We both became better versions of ourselves. And that's worth more than any amount of money I could have given her.